This is George Square in the heart of Glasgow, right? Lord Provost? Named after some king. Which one?
One of the Georges. We haven't been able to trace him.
Either the first, second, or the third.
Well, I hope it wasn't the third. He was mad.
Now, how old is Glasgow? I remember, you know, tales from my youth about St Mungo and the Mullen dinner burn.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong?
You're absolutely right. 806 years old.
You've got a special thing going on for your 800 and for some celebration coming up in 1983.
That's right. In 83, we're welcoming back to Glasgow people who have emigrated but haven't returned to the city. Now, Jack, you've been on a slight walkabout and you've seen the changes here. And I think you've been fairly impressed by them.
Very much impressed.
Well, we've got, what, 5 million people of Scots descent scattered throughout the world, particularly in North America. We want a small proportion of them back to see Glasgow.
Most of them are probably Glasgow men anyway.
Yes, hey, well, that's right.
Just by the way, you said there, and I give people a hard time about this little piece of local lore. You said Scots descent. Is that being a wee bit proper? I always say Scotch. Now, am I right or am I wrong?
You're right. Technically, you're right. I mean, we use the word Scots and Scotch as an adjective that applies to things like breakfasts or whiskey. But Scotch is perfectly correct, if a bit archaic, for describing people of Scottish descent.
I find it easier to say Scotch than I always think Scots sounds a wee bit fancy.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Now, in the square.
Aye.
Who's the man at the top of the monument?
It's not Nelson. That's Sir Walter Scott.
I've never had a chat with him.
That's Sir Walter Scott, the famous novelist.
Nowadays, supposing somebody came to you as the Lord Provost of Glasgow and said, we're going to put up another monument on the top of a pillar, what would you tell them?
Jack Webster.
No. That's not what I mean.
Oh, see, whether we put one up, whether we should put one up or not.
You can never spend money. I mean, one of the great things about the early days, I suppose, was that these were public works projects.
Yes, I think so, but they were all designed to honour people that had done something for Scotland or for Glasgow.
I see.
We've got Rabbie Burns over there. We've got a couple of Glasgow MPs. This is Rabbie here.
That's Rabbie. That's Rabbie there.
Yes.
Now,
did you hear about the one? Now, Aberdeen did this as a student charity stunt. We haven't done it here, but as one of the takeoffs, they printed footprints from Burns' statue in Aberdeen to the nearest pub, and then staggery ones back again to the statue.
There's a man who's lost a piece of his statue. Do you know which one it is offhand?
Yes, Sir Thomas Moore.
Let's walk over to it.
Sir John Moore.
Sir John. Sir Thomas or Sir John?
Sir John.
Sir John. He was a famous British hero, wasn't he?
That's right, the man who was killed at Corunna, the general.
The general killed at Corunna.
And it was... in my first week as Lord Provost, I was driving through the square and I was looking out at the statues with a particular interest, and I noticed that he'd lost his sword. And evidently been lost for years, nobody'd noticed it. But you'll see there, his hand's empty and the scabbard's there, but nobody's any idea where the sword's gone.
There's the scabbard.
See, he was a Glaswegian.
Sir John Moore.
Yeah.
And they stole his sword.
That's right.
That's like saying they stole his scone. However, I don't suppose it's a matter of the greatest public import.
No, well, but we're getting it replaced.
You're going to buy a new sword for Sir John?
Yes, that's right.
Even though he's fought his last battle.
Aye.
My wife wanted to steal that Rolls Royce, GO, the license plate number of the Lord Provost of Glasgow, as we continue our peregrinations with Lord Provost Michael Kelly in the city of Glasgow. Not a drop of rain.
Jack, I brought you here because I think this is one of the best examples of how we've tried to merge the old with the new. You can see here on our left is the Clydesdale Bank building, a new building. On the other side of this block is their old building, which has got the Victorian facade. And we persuaded them to renovate entirely the inside of it and build on this fairly low-rise building, which we think is in character with the city.
In other words, if you've got a good old sound building like the other half of the Clydesdale Bank, they keep it on the outside, clean it up.
That's right.
And you control the zoning anyway, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's what we've managed to persuade them to do. If the owners are cooperative, our planning powers allow us to do that.
Now, what about that building over there? I don't even know what it is offhand as an old Glasgow man.
Well, that's the Stock Exchange building. And again, they did that off their own bat. They knocked the inside out of that entirely, kept the facade, renovated the facade, and rebuilt the inside so they get modern offices inside there.
Would that be when, the end of the last century?
That's, yes, that's
Beautiful
about
stonework.
1880, 1890.
But then this here, of course, that would never go, would it?
Oh no, the Tron Church, no, that's an institution.
So here we have the Stock Exchange redone, the Tron Church, and then we've got the Clydesdale Bank.
That's right, that's the national headquarters of the bank, the only bank that's got its headquarters in Glasgow.
It's quite impressive, the old and the new.
Yeah, well that's what we're working at.
But can private enterprise do it without the official nudge of the policy of a local authority?
Well, the responsible firms in Glasgow want to do it because they realise the architectural heritage we've got. Other firms, we've got to twist their arms.
Back to the car, so back to our roles, say, Lord Provost. Well, Lord Provost, I wanted to see the lampposts, and here they are, eh?
That's them, Jack, yes.
Now, tell me, when did this custom begin of the Lord Provost being anointed with 2 lampposts outside his residence?
It goes back a long time. The origin of the custom was that the Lord Provost's house had to be identified if people wanted to make petition to him. And the custom grew up of establishing a couple of lampposts outside the house so that people going past or going along the road could discover which house the Lord Provost lived in.
You'd think nowadays we're also conscious of security that you wouldn't want lampposts outside your house.
It's a great privilege to have them. In fact, it wasn't until the day those were put in that I finally believed that I was Lord Provost of the city.
Something else, though. When are you due for re-election?
My term ends in May '84, but I won't be running for re-election. The tradition is that you finish your term and bow out of local politics.
But you'll lose the lampposts.
No,
You
man.
will.
No,
You won't be mayor, you'll lose the lampposts.
No, I won't lose the posts, I'll lose the top. What they do is they take the top off the lampposts, because that's got the city crest on them, and replace them with a crest bearing your initials. And the lampposts remain outside the house as long as there is a living relative.
Give me the story as short as you can on the bird that never flew, on the city crest.
The city crest is all associated with our patron saint, St Mungo. The bird, the tree, the bell and the fish are all stories out of his life. The fish particularly was a fish in which he discovered a queen's ring.
I want the wee rhyme. The bird that never flew, the bell...
The bell that never rang, the tree that never grew, and the fish that never swam.
Thank you, Lord Provost.
Thank you very much.
I hope you live a long time to enjoy your lampposts.
Thanks a lot.
A special message.
So you really are a television producer?
Oh my
Hello, Jack.
goodness
How are you doing?
gracious me.
Sit down. Sit down, please. Like, see all that stuff you did in Glasgow? I thought that was a con.
No.
Now,
I'm absolutely shattered,
well,
staggered.
no. Seriously, though, I'm over here to see you do the thing properly. It's going quite well so far, mate.
Listen.
But tell me, what is a near doctor? At the beginning of the programme, you were going through all these strikes and you said you had a near doctor strike. Is that a Canadian term for a paramedic?
No, it's a strike that nearly came off.
Ah. Oh.
And I'm going to ask a special question in dialect. Is it no a fact, Lord Provost, that a special leery lichts your lamp at nicht?
No, it's switched on centrally with a restaurant. Now, you remember the wee tease we did about the Glasgow belongs to Webster, etc.? Well, and the big scroll that I had there. Well, as you know, Jack, that is kept in the archives of the city chambers.
Right.
For time immemorial. But I have brought with me your personal copy. And I heard you telling people about the bird and the fish and all the rest of it. That's at the top there. This reads, whereas Jack Webster was born in the battlefield district of Glasgow and therefore belongs to Glasgow, and whereas he has brought great honour on his native city by his work in journalism in Canada, particularly with British Columbian television, and whereas in commemoration of his return visit to Glasgow and of the filming of a television programme on the city, I, Michael Kelly, Lord Provost of the City of Glasgow, do hereby proclaim Glasgow belongs to Webster.
Well, for the first or second time in my life, I'm absolutely, totally speechless. I know that people will know from a reaction I didn't know about this at all.
Of course not.
Lord Provost of Glasgow.
You did the wee bit on the football there.
Aye.
Do you realise that I am missing Scotland's World Cup qualifying game in Sweden to be here?
Just to come and see us?
Yeah, now I expect you to get a videotape of it for Wednesday night so that we can see the result.
When are you going back?
Weeks. Oh, you'll keep me. Suzanne said I can stay at the farm for about a month.
Sure, and if I tell you the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
now, what are we doing tomorrow? I mean, we've done that today.
You're going to be on the air in the morning. You're going to be on the air in the morning.
For the week.
We'll have to get an interpreter for you because as I was listening to the accents
You
this morning,
noticed-
I realised how terribly North American I really am.
Yeah, you changed in the film. You see, after your interview with me, you became very Scottish. But you realise that this is simply me being friendly, aggressive, as Harry Diamond would say.
I
like your tie, by the way. Who gave you that?
The Lord Provost of Glasgow gave it to me. Are you wearing the Kelly tartan?
Of course. Tartans. Now, have you got a kilt?
Hold your waist. Hold your waist. The Lord Provost of Glasgow, who dropped out of the skies after the break. I suspected there was
Now, wait a minute, Jack. I didn't come 6,000
all,
miles to let you do the
introduce
talking.
it.
Now, you were talking about kilts. You don't have a kilt. But I have here, courtesy of British Airways Scotland, the Hunting McFarlane, which you're a sept of. Webster's a sept of McFarlane. So if you don't want to make that up into a kilt, what you can make it into is a pair of golfing trousers, because I know you're a fanatical
I'll make it into
golfers.
golfing trousers, I'll make it into a kilt.
Well,
that's
there
what
you
I'll
go.
do. Thanks to British
Now-
Airways. Hunting McFarlane.
Yep, that's you, McFarlane.
Is that the
sept
same
of
as the
McDonald.
Kelly tartan?
No, I'm McDonald.
You're McDonald.
Kelly's a sept of McDonald, Webster's a sept of McFarlane.
My wife's a McDonald.
The same as, remember Duncan Miller that we saw in the wee red coat?
Oh, great wee Duncan.
He's a sept of McFarlane as well. So as one sept member to another, he said, wish you all the best.
Oh, that's great. Duncan and I slipped away from you on one occasion, you know, when you were showing off statues and ballrooms and whatnot. And I said, Duncan, I don't want to see any more ballrooms or statues or pictures. He says, I have a little place that you can come and have a small libation.
Very good. Do you
Duncan.
remember Matt Neal, Glasgow Chamber of Commerce?
Yes,
You
remember him well.
Well, Chamber of Commerce tie from him with his compliments. Glasgow Chamber is 200 years old in 83.
You give these Glasgow men an inch and they'll take a mile, I'll tell you that.
Well, we're going to celebrate 200 years of a lot of things in Glasgow in 1983, so we're there I'm really here to promote some tourism for Glasgow, and I know you'll come back, because you did us proud in that programme.
As a matter of fact,
quite
I did
honestly.
you proud in that programme.
You did, oh yeah, no doubt at all.
And I
about
didn't
it.
fake
Absolutely
it.
fair.
And I didn't phony it.
No, I know.
And Battlefield Avenue was an awful lot nicer than I've been telling my kids it was, because you know how through the years, as you get older, you're getting there yourself, you begin to...
I was 40. I'm on film saying I was 40.
The youngest Lord Provost in the history of Glasgow.
Now, trams. You were talking about trams in the
Oh,
interview.
yes.
Now, whether I believe the thing about the fog or not, I thought I should bring you a couple of...
You do believe me
There
about
you
the
are.
fog?
Well, there you are. Glasgow trams, hang on your wall.
Oh, that's
As a
great.
wee reminder.
That's just terrific.
Jack, it was marvellous to have you in Glasgow, and I'm
My
delighted to be
goodness
here.
gracious me.
So I'll give you the back of the programme. Ask me some questions.
No, I'm not going to ask you any questions. What I'm going to do, Lord Provost, is say that you arrived here Sunday,
Sunday, and have been hiding ever since.
kept a low profile.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
went somewhere last night?
To the tattoo, the PNE.
I'll guarantee you're recognised today. And your wife's with you?
Yes, Zita's here.
You didn't bring any of the Waynes?
No, I want to see them not singing. Remember that?
Yeah, no, we didn't. That's not my fault. That's Suzanne Boyce's fault. They're not on the programme.
Ah,
But there's a lot more Glasgow stuff to come. In the meanwhile, however, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, and I want you to demonstrate to Lord Provost of Glasgow how quick, how sharp, how concise, how speak up clearly you are on the first day with Webster back after a far too long a layoff. Shattered, not embarrassed, because we were... Oh, you can't be friends with a politician, but we were instant friends after the break.
Webster's had a taste of Scotland and Scotland's had a taste of Webster. Do ring him now.
The Lord Provost of Glasgow, Michael Kelly, is with me. He just descended from above, and the secret was kept from me by the entire staff here, and I'll take it out of their hides for that during the rest of the season.
as long as you don't take it out of their pay packets. Jack, here's a wee quote I got from the Sunday Times I was reading in the plane coming over. I think you'll like it as a
You're looking for a
Glaswegian.
job in a talk show?
Yeah,
Right,
sure.
go on.
One sentence. Now the Edinburgh Festival is over, Glasgow slides happily back into its accustomed role of cultural centre of Scotland, the Sunday Times London.
Written by
Not
Glasgow
bad,
Reporter.
Not bad.
Written by
Oh, it's a
Glasgow
Webster
Reporter.
byline. Which one is it?
Now, telephone calls. You've done talk shows before?
No.
Never?
No, not one as good as this.
Yeah, well, wait till you see. They're warned at the beginning of every season. Don't delay. Speak clearly. No niceties. Oh, you can be nice to Lord Provost. He's not a politician in our terms. Go ahead from Kamloops.
Welcome to British Columbia, Lord Provost.
Hello.
My heart good. It was a fine show, Jack, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. But I'm hoping that the Lord Provost will spend a few minutes to tell us about the plans he mentioned earlier on your tape of 1983.
He'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I've been here for 16, 17 years, and I'd love to go back and see the changes as they really are.
Will you do that tomorrow?
Yes, certainly.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, this is a personal call to Michael Kelly. I taught him way back in East Hamilton. So I feel quite proud that I once taught a famous son of Glasgow now.
What was the school?
St. Mary's Hamilton.
What did you teach?
I taught in the primary school.
What's the name, Lord Provost?
Well, it could be, gasp.
Give us your name.
Low.
No, Boyle. And I was Callahan then.
Ah.
And
What primary was it in, though?
that was in the second grade. Well, I now call it second grade.
Primary 2? Or primary 3 or what?
Yeah, that would be about 1952, I think.
Mrs. Boyle, was he bright?
Lie, Mrs. Boyle, lie.
Was he bright?
Of course, I see that now.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyle. Go ahead, please.
Welcome, Lord Provost. Where are you going to be this week so one can drop in and say hello? Are you going to be promoting somewhere downtown in Vancouver?
Well, I'm going to be around Vancouver. I'm visiting Victoria and then going up to Squamish. But you'll be able to contact me through the studios.
Very nice. Enjoy your stay, sir.
Thanks
Thank you
very
very much. Go ahead to Lord Provost of Glasgow.
I'd just like to say welcome very much, Lord Provost, to Vancouver, because my parents and my grandparents are from Scotland, and I'm related to Robert LaBruce.
Are you?
I am.
Well, you're a relation of Lord Elgin then.
I think I should.
The Earl of Elgin is the direct descendant of Robert LaBruce.
Right. His name is Carruthers.
Oh, good. Glad to know you.
Okay.
He was the man with the spider, wasn't he?
Yes.
7 times the
Seven.
spider tried to climb and made it on the 7th. Is
That's
that right?
That's it.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Welcome to Vancouver, Lord Provost Kelly.
Hello, that's a Scotsman there, all right.
Definitely. A real Glasgow man.
Great. Where are you from?
Scotland.
Oh, that's a posh part, as Jack will tell you.
Yeah,
Eh?
it says. Just as well as Jack came from.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Jack, I'd just like to say you done us Glaswegians proud.
Thanks very much.
Much obliged. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Kelly.
Hello.
Pardon me. I just wanted to say that I'm all for Glasgow. I've been there, going back there for, say, 15 years. My parents came from there, and I love it. Good, old, bad, or whatever. I think it's the most interesting city in the UK.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. We've got some other stuff in Glasgow we didn't use this morning because of the unscheduled arrival of the Lord Provost. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Lord Provost.
Good morning.
Of all the earths the winds can blaw, Webster blaws on forever, but we love him.
That's a planted call.
Huh?
No, that's no planted.
Well, welcome to Vancouver anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Go
much.
ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Lord Provost, and I certainly hope that he enjoys his stay in BC while he's here. And to you, Jack, we're glad to have you back and certainly enjoy your program.
Thank you. Much obliged. Nothing but friends this morning. It doesn't always go like this. Go ahead, please.
Welcome to Canada, Lord Provost.
Thanks very much.
You've been here before.
I've never been as far west as this, and Vancouver's beautiful.
I was born in Glasgow, but I left there before you were born.
I was born in 1940.
Yeah, we left there in the 30s, but my wife and I were back on vacation, and we were going through a part of Glasgow. This is rather humorous. Where I was born, it was Partick West.
Uh-huh.
And we're just walking down the street on a Sunday, and the police arrested us.
Well,
They thought that she looked like somebody who was passing counterfeit money and counterfeit traveler's checks. So they took us down to a little jail there in Partick West, and they said to me, looked at the passport, and where were you born? I said, I was born right here. And they said, well, you don't sound like it.
Well, you are not guilty automatically if you were born there. Go ahead, please. What are you?
Hey, good morning, Lord Provost.
good morning.
I'm from Bishopbriggs, actually.
Oh, well, that's not quite
That against
Glasgow.
you. What the heck's happened? What I would like to hear about is, you say that it's the 200th anniversary of Glasgow.
No, Glasgow's 806 years old, but the Chamber of Commerce is celebrating its 200th anniversary. So is the Glasgow Herald. The City Chamber's building that you saw Jack interviewing me in is 100 years old, and the Boys Brigade, which was founded in Glasgow, is 100 years old in 1983.
That's the one I was on about, because
Right.
I would like to go back in 83 for the centenary.
Right.
I was at the Jubilee at Queen's Park in 1933.
So was I.
Well, I've got a big photograph, Jack, that was published with a record.
Well, I'm in the picture.
So am I, but I can't pick you out.
What's the problem?
Anything we can hear about that, I would like that. The only trouble is I'm going on holiday and I'll not hear it until I come back.
If you gave me a couple of seconds, I could sing the song from the Jubilee.
You could?
The Boys Brigade, which we formed and made, is trusted now to you.
Uh-huh.
But you can't remember it. You're older than me, though.
No, I'm no.
You sound it. Anyway, good luck. Nanaimo to the Lord Provost.
Hello, yeah, I'd just like to welcome the Lord Provost to Vancouver, and I'm saying I'm enjoying your show very much.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
And where are you from? You're from Glasgow as well, eh?
I'm from the Gorbals,
What street in the Gorbals?
Snowden Street.
Snowden Street.
Well, do you not think Jack did it proud this morning?
We did, yes.
Yeah, it was a balanced view.
Every now and again, the truth comes out by accident on this program. We try not to gild the news unless we really have to. You know, we're honest hypocrites. Lord Provost, how much to go before the break? 30 seconds before the break. You'll come on the program tomorrow.
Is there a fee?
For you? Yeah. You don't have to pay very much.
Oh.
Now, is this the end of the show? I don't know the new format. We're going to another break. The wrap up.
Love
Take
to
it
come
away.
on tomorrow.
Zita, great to see you. Zita is the Lady Provost, and she gets the formal title, doesn't she, on formal occasions. I don't want to be that formal. Any kids? 1, 2, 3.
Three, yeah.
How old?
15, 11, and 5.
One question for you, because I know you're a wee bit nervous. Why can't they sing I Belong to Glasgow? I tried it and they couldn't do it.
Well, we've rectified it. They can sing it now.
If you fly them over for tomorrow's programme, they will sing it for you.
I'm looking at the Webster kids.
No, they're at school.
Yeah, your kids are at
Yeah,
school
oh,
too.
yeah.
Did you have a good flight over?
Super, yes.
British Airways.
British Airways.
And you're staying downtown, and we'll go out to lunch today, are we?
Yeah.
Well, I've been on the air, 25, 30 years. I don't think I've ever been so taken aback by such a crafty bunch of clever, pleasant schemers. And I'm really quite honoured by your presence.
Can I say something serious about Glasgow?
You've got
Jack?
15 seconds.
Right. Toughness. Did you notice that there were no riots in Glasgow this year? The riots in the rest of the UK were exaggerated, actually, by the media abroad, but there were none in Glasgow.
Back to business tomorrow, but one of my special guests tomorrow morning will be the Lord Provost of Glasgow, Michael Kelly. 9 a.m. precisely. Who's going to sing a song?
Right, Mandy can sing.
How about a song? How about I Belong to Glasgow? Thank you. I know you didn't know what.